that's more important than your pelvis, okay? And for so many reasons, okay? So, Shalou, Simran, how are you?
Fantastic.
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. And just so everybody knows, Simran, okay, she is a master trainer. She teaches the pelvic course worldwide. It's a master class course. It's 3 days, and it's probably the most important course that a woman will ever take because most women do not understand that they are actually raised, or should I say, driven to believe and to dishonor the pelvic. The pelvic is everything to a woman. And understand this, if we don't know how to take a look or to look after our pelvis, whether we're a man or a woman, especially a woman, we're going to get ourselves into a lot of trouble. Men, they've got what, a couple of parts, right? Women got many bells and whistles down there. And understand something, you don't get this training from your mother. Shalou, did you teach Simran how to look after her pelvis?
I didn't know how to do it myself, so how could I teach her?
And that's right. So guess what? You can't do better till you know better. And I'm never trying to put anybody on the spot. I'm just trying to tell you that we were set up. You didn't get it in high school. You didn't get it in public school at all. You don't get it in university. No woman know. And guess what? Ask a female medical doctor if she knows how to take care of her pelvis and how to heal herself from ovarian cysts, infertility, cystitis, otherwise bladder infections, endometriosis, fibroid, okay, or just pelvic inflammation, okay, or what about candidiasis, okay, vaginitis? What about all of this? They don't even know. Women doctors do not even know how to look after the pelvis. I know how to look after a pelvis. I'm definitely not a woman. And guess what? Okay, I'm a natural health practitioner. I'm not even a medical doctor. So the reality is that these two ladies here, they are the cream of the crop. They know how to teach, okay, women how to look after their pelvis, and they do it in what we call the women's restoration and the women's pelvic restoration and disease prevention masterclass, which is only 3 days, and we're going to talk about that today. So, you want to kick it off, Simran?
Yes, thank you for having us on the show.
Okay.
The course is very powerful because it helps so many women. In just the 3 days, we've seen so many changes or drastic changes from them practicing what we teach them in class, the exercises, the yin yoga exercises, the pelvic activation squats, the doing the vaginal
Okay,
infusion.
1 second. I want you to go through everything that you do teach, but I want you to not just spin it off. I want you to just slow it down because they don't know what you're saying. So you can tell them what you teach, but you maybe can give them a little bit of what it is. Okay.
Okay, so what it is we help you to strengthen the pelvic floor muscles. And a lot of people have lost the tone. A lot of women have lost the tone down just not practicing or using those muscles. Those are actually muscles. We have a large muscle.
We're getting all kinds. We're getting all kinds of feedback right now.
Rafa needs to go on mute.
Rafa, thank you. Thank you. Go ahead. Want to start again, ladies?
Yes. Okay, so we teach women how to strengthen their pelvic floor muscles. So it's quite a large muscle group we have in the vaginal canal that we aren't taught how to exercise. I've heard of Kegels. Kegels are a thing, but they only activate one muscle. It's not actually all of the muscles.
One muscle.
Yeah, one muscle. So we have created a strategy to teach you different exercises to activate all of these different muscles and try and isolate to strengthen each one individually and then all together. So that's through the yin yoga exercises, and then the pelvic activation squats are great to keep everything open and flowing nicely. in your hips and pelvic region. The vaginal infusion is absolutely amazing to help heal pretty much any issue you're having in the pelvic region. Like I personally had a lady I did a consult with, and she had a yeast infection, and just from doing the iodine infusion, the infinite iodine infusion, she was able to clear that up in 3 days. Doing that, she noticed a difference after the first use, but then she did it continuously for 3-4 days, and it was completely gone. And that's just one instance, and that's just with the infinite iodine infusion, not even doing the vaginal infusion on top of that. So it's just together, it's that much more powerful. Like if you have a fibroid or a cyst in your ovaries. Pardon?
What is the infinite iodine infusion?
So the infinite iodine infusion is with our Doc of Detox Infinite Iodine. It's the purest iodine on the planet, and it's a daily immune support. It kills viruses, bacteria, fungus, and cell mutations. So just from doing an ounce of that, you do an ounce of that infusion, and you notice a difference after the first time. And generally, we spray it in the back of our throat. It helps get your what word am I like?
It brings your biome back to normal, getting rid of the negative bacteria and viruses. It dismantles them. And I can tell you right now, when you do the 1 ounce infusion into the vaginal canal, you are disinfecting the whole area. I mean, there is nothing like this. There's no harmful side effects, because you couldn't use another iodine. If you used an ounce of another iodine, it would be too much iodine, and you could actually hurt your system. With infinite iodine, we have no toxic side effects. More is not better, because you're wasting your money, but it is the only pure and iodine that actually has no side effects. Where Lugol's iodine and Nacian iodine, if you use too much of it, you could blow your thyroid, or you could lose weight that would be hard to bring back, because it can cause an overreaction, an active metabolism, to the point that you don't want that, where you'll never get that with infinite iodine. And that's why even with women that have like stage 4 inflammation, we'll have them doing 2 ounces of iodine a day to bring down that infection in their body as quickly as possible. And then with the vaginal infusion, that's going deeper and longer and stronger, isn't it?
Yes, so the vaginal infusion is made up of 6 of our products. So that's the Silver Bullet Gel. It's antiviral, antifungal, antiparasitical, antibacterial. It's a powerful infection fighter. It helps with your immune building. It rebuilds the tissue through formation of stem cells as well. So for the Silver Bullet Gel, that would be, you put 2 teaspoons or more, depending on how much of the infusion you want to make. Then we have the Nanofulvic Bright Eyes. This is the Silver Bullet Gel.
And if I can say this, the Silver Bullet Gel, again, everything that we're using has no negative side effects, and there is no toxicity to any of it. So everybody needs to get that. People will call up and go, what if I do this? What if I have this? What if I'm on this drug? What if I'm doing this? It doesn't matter if you're doing chemo, radiation, or you're on any prescription drugs. This is not going to do anything except to make sure that it enhances and you keep or you get back what you're now missing.
Exactly. Yeah, it is all natural products. And I tell everybody I do a consult with, you can't do the vaginal infusion too much, because you're just sending nourishment to the area, and you can't do it too much. And it does take 15 minutes for you to do an infusion, because you want to keep your legs elevated for 15 minutes. So some people can't do it that often in the day anyways, but again, it's just nourishing the area. You can't overdo it. So don't overthink it or question all of that. So then we have
if I can say something, Simran, if I can say something.
Yeah.
So understand this, if you've got like a little bit of inflammation, you've got a yeast infection or otherwise candidiasis, or things aren't right down there and you know it, doing the infinite iodine, even if you do it once, you don't want to stop. Yes, you have eliminated and neutralized the problem. But remember something, tissue integrity is everything. If you had tissue integrity, you wouldn't have parasitical, okay, infectors in your vaginal canal, whether it's bad bacteria, whether it's fungus, whether it's parasites, okay, any of this stuff. You wouldn't have it if you had integral tissue. Remember something, as Louis Pasteur said, okay, it's not the bug, it's the environment that welcomes the bug. You bring up the vibration, you bring up the health of it, and they'll go packing. And understand this. So you cannot mess up. You cannot hurt yourself. So what if I get it wrong? No, get rid of all of that. They want you to be so fearful that you never take your health into your own hands.
Yep. So the nanofluvic bright eyes, again, this also fights fungus, virus, and bacteria. And this again is 2 teaspoons or more. If you're just making a regular one, it'll be 2 teaspoons silver bullet, 2 teaspoons nanofluvic bright eyes. Then we have the C60.
And if I say something, the bright eyes also drops off 70 to 80 micronutrients into the vaginal canal, into the tissues. It also picks up 300 to 400% of its weight in toxicity, heavy metals, locks down viruses, locks down bacteria, and it actually brings the pH back to the tissues.
Thank you. Then we have the C60. So you can use the MCT coconut oil or the hemp oil. The hemp is a thicker one, so generally people like to use it in the evening because it's more calming, but it's up to you and your personal preference. The MCT carries more C60, so it might be preferred for someone in a more chronic state. Those benefit more of the healing abilities from the C60 itself. So
and
this
also,
again,
if I can say that, thank you. I want everybody to understand when we go through this, remember something, the more chronic the problem is, the more massive action you need to take. If it's an infection, you're not going to have to do that much. If it's endometriosis, if it's a fibroid, okay, or if it's a continual problem like cystitis, bladder infection, you're going to have to do more work. So please feel free to call Simran, Shalou. They'll give their phone number at the end. You can call me too. Okay. I know I'm not a woman, but I can help to assist. Or the rest of the people that answer phones, guess what? They're all master trainers. So we want you to know that we're here for you, but understand this. We have people that have fibroids, okay? And they can be active fibroids or inactive. You know what I'm talking about, right? So the reality is this, when you start doing this, please don't get me wrong, but I have a lady who has a fibroid about this big, and she started just about 6 days ago, and I've got her doing, okay, because we need to really go in there and nourish and soothe and calm down. And it's kind of like I told her is that you didn't consciously do it, but you abused your vaginal canal and your pelvis, and you need to say, I'm going to make love to you. Okay, I'm going to make love to you, and I'm going to make it up to you. So she's doing 3 vaginal infusions a day. And just so you know, 2 days ago, she had 3 worms come out of the vaginal canal, and they range from 6 inches to 8 inches long. Okay. We've had women that have done this and the fibroid will fall out. We'll have women that will do this and it looks like skin coming out, and you'd be surprised what comes out of there. If you want to renew yourself, then guess what? If you've got a 20-foot hole, you want to make sure that you're taking massive action, not using a 5-foot ladder. Go ahead, ladies.
Yeah, so the C60, you're going to put half a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons in the infusion. And then we have the black diamond crystals. So this is going to be a pinch to a 1/16 of a teaspoon. And this is amazing to help detox from your bloodstream, the heavy metals, toxins, everything just from if you're consuming in your water, but in the infusion, you want to be careful not to add too much because it does make the mix more runny, and then it's more difficult to try and keep it in. So you really want to make sure you just put a very small amount. And then the essential oils, you're gonna add 1 to 10 drops. So frankincense, you can use lavender, immunity, frankincense, or frankincense. The frankincense, some people, it is more high frequency, the frankincense and the frankincense. So you want to be careful how many drops you start with. Start with 1 to see how you do and work your way up with that one. But the lavender and immunity, you can use 1 to 10. You should be fine. But the frankincense, if anybody has that one, you only want to use 1 to 4 drops because it is the strongest and most potent frankincense out there. I believe we found it in Thailand. So yeah, you just want to be really mindful with that. And then our new product is the Beyond Ormus, and you can add 2 drops of this into the infusion. And it's a powerful electrolyte. It has amazing antioxidant qualities, and you can't, without your minerals, you can't absorb the vitamins. So consuming this in your water is amazing, but then even for your pelvis, like in the infusion, it's that much, making it that much more powerful to help heal you from whatever you're experiencing. And I believe
everybody, just so you know that if I can say this, the Beyond Ormus minerals they are rated the highest electrical charge, like Simran was saying, of any concentrate mineral product on the market. And we are also the purest. Our trace minerals actually come from the Arctic glacier runoff. And what we do is we take 100 liters of actual ocean water, and we actually bring that down into 1 liter. Okay, so just so you know the concentrations there, and it's the purest. There's another company that's actually called Concentrace, and their product's high in mercury, but nobody stops them, and they sell $1 billion a year with this. So understand, it's the craziest thing, you know. They'll try to stop somebody from selling a product that really works, and they won't stop somebody that sells a product that's toxic. And one other thing, if you're dealing with a really tough situation and it's critical, I want everyone to take a look at the Critical Care Thunder Rooms. That was for critical care. And if you want something to really boost you up, okay, then you would go with Vital Care. If you really wanted to give a real good boost, but if you're dealing with a critical situation, you want to add 1 capsule of Critical Care Thunder Shrooms to this mixture. And then you want to put that in to the vaginal canal. Okay. All right. And when you do it, how do they want to position themselves?
So you're going to position yourself. If you're starting out, I recommend using the wall. So you're going to put some pillows on the ground and then a towel to protect the pillows. And then you're going to put your butt on them against the wall and your legs going up the wall. And if you want to make sure you have enough pillows under your bottom to tilt the pelvis up to just make sure the infusion doesn't run out. And then even when you're inserting it, it's a little launcher about this big. You want to insert it slowly because if you do it too quickly, you might cause it to run out, and you want to avoid that. So just do everything slow and loving. Just take your time with it. It's 15 minutes you have to yourself. You could do some exercises with your legs on the wall, or you could read a book, you could meditate. Just really taking that time for you. And then once you've gotten comfortable with that, if you want it, like some ladies I know do it in their bed, they just make sure they have enough pillows under their bottom to, again, keep that pelvis tilted, and then they'll just go to bed after.
And where do I get the launcher from?
The launcher is on Amazon. You're going to search vaginal lubricant launcher, and it usually comes in a pack of 2. They come in different colors as well, but Amazon is your best bet for that.
Beautiful. Okay. All right. So, Shalou, would you like to take it, and we'll go into another doorway? and talk about the ultimate coffee enema?
Yes, we get to talk about the ultimate coffee enema. And I know when I first heard about it, I thought, yeah, that sounds interesting. And it was months before I finally actually did my first coffee enema, because now I had clients that I had to tell them to do it. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to tell them to do it if I've not done it? So started my adventure. And honestly, it blew my mind as to how good you feel. You don't know how good you can feel until you do a coffee enema.
Ultimate coffee enema.
The ultimate coffee enema, yes, because I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like you're cleaned right out. I swear I was down 5 pounds after that first coffee, the ultimate coffee enema. I couldn't believe it. You know, you think, yeah, I eliminated, I'm good. And yet you do one of these and then you know just how much better you could feel. So the biggest hesitation is you get, this and you get this and you don't know what to do with it. Well, so we're going to go through that today. So when you buy the kit, it comes with the stainless steel bucket like this. And then you've got the tubing inside.
With the different ends.
With the different ends, yes.
I will cut in. There is an end in here that you can use vaginally to do a vaginal douche if you're having any, like you could do a warm water douche with Black Diamond if you're experiencing any issues and you don't want to do that, or right before the infusion. Continue.
And so you would attach the one end to here, yep, and then the other end, which is like this. Let me just get that out. It really is not difficult at all. And I'll go over how you're going to.
But it's scary.
It's
everybody's
scary, yeah.
Too.
Yeah. See, this doesn't look so scary. It's nice and soft. It's not hard, right? Look. That's it. And I mean, and you're going to be nice to yourself. I mean, I usually put some C60 on there to just get it, easier to insert. So yeah, you're going to prepare your coffee. And to do that, you're going to use this amazing organic blonde coffee. And you take 3 teaspoons of the coffee and into about 16 ounces of water. You're going to bring it to a boil for 5 minutes and then simmer it for 15. Now with this, you're also going to put in the black gold. So you can put about 3 teaspoons of this in as well and simmer it all together. And then once your coffee is ready, you're going to strain it so that all the coffee grounds and that can come out so they don't clog up the tube later. And then you're going to take, structured water, about 16 ounces, and in it, you can put a teaspoon of tummy love, which is the combination of the humic fulvic. And that, again, is, as Simran explained before, it helps pull out, provide the nutrients and bring back like over 300 to 400 times its weight in heavy metals and chemicals and all that kind of stuff. So you would mix
Can I explain why we don't do a coffee enema? We do an ultimate coffee enema. And I want to explain that it's not that we want to be different. We better be different. So the coffee enema was actually discovered by Dr. Gerson of the Gerson Clinic. And that was done, I think, probably around 60, 70 years ago. And little do people know, but they still just use and do a coffee enema. And you know what? It's not smart. It's not smart at all. Because what has happened in the last 60, 70 years is it was the introduction of antibiotics. And those antibiotics will be found in dairy products, all animal byproducts, any animal, any chicken, any turkey, even farmed fish. They are loaded with antibiotics. So people say, oh, I don't take antibiotics. Well, if you don't eat organic and free range, you have to understand that 80% of all the antibiotics in the United States and Canada go in animals, and they call it preventative care. So you're taking the antibiotics in. Now, Does anybody know what autoimmune disease is? Well, that's where the body's attacking itself. Does anybody know that you have to have leaky gut to have autoimmune? Does anybody know that leaky gut's not the gut? It's actually the large intestine. Do you know that you actually, from the antibiotics, you actually activated what's called drill bit predators, which is the actual yeast in the large intestine turning into a fungus and drilling holes through your large intestine? And that's why every autoimmune disease gets its foothold, and that's how it starts. So let me make that perfectly clear. If you've never heard about it, you need to research it. So the reality is, if I'm going to go and I'm going to do a coffee enema, and the reason why Shalou lost 5 pounds after the first coffee enema was reducing the inflammation in her liver. When she reduced the inflammation in her liver, then she was able to let go of the water retention because she retained the water because she was on fire. So understand, you ever notice people and it just looks like they have this little bump sticking out of their face and they're just this round beach ball here, or they look like a round beach ball? Well, a lot of that is water retention because inflammation, you're on fire. As soon as you reduce the inflammation, the body says we don't need all this excess water. But here's the problem. How many of you own a car? You'll go and you'll change the filter, you'll change the oil 3 or 4 times a year. Yes or no? And if you don't, your car's in trouble. And guess what? Most people will never do an ultimate coffee enema until they're 50 years old, until they go, man, you know what? I didn't ever think I was going to stick anything up my butt. You know, I'm a guy, you know, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But understand something. The sooner that you realize that, I don't care what herbal medicine you buy, you cannot clean the liver by taking things orally. You must go in through the rectum, and then just about 3 inches in, you've got what's called the portal vein. And we use a special organic green coffee higher in caffeine that goes in there. And then that triggers the liver to actually dump all of these GMOs, chemicals, okay, heavy metals, okay? And that's why she lost 5 pounds, because she brought the infection down in the liver. The infection reduced the inflammation, and the body said, we don't need the water. So now all of that infection comes from the liver, gets dumped into the large intestine, and guess what? Most people have a screen door for a colon. And the reality is that we're going to dump the worst chemicals and poisons, because how many people here know that right now, 85% of Americans have an inflamed liver? How many people know that right now we're talking about 40 to 60% have cirrhosis of the liver? That inflamed liver is caused from the infection. The cirrhosis is caused because your liver's turning into beef jerky. How many people know that if you can get rid of the infection, you'll get rid of the inflammation, and over time, if you change and you learn how to love and care for yourself, the cirrhosis, which is the scar tissue, will actually leave the liver. The liver will restore itself once you stop being the terrorist, okay? So if we actually do a coffee enema, we're going to absorb some of the worst waste back into our bloodstream. And now that's going to go other places. And we don't want it to go other places, to other vital areas and cause big trouble. Because at least in the liver, it was in lockdown. But when you want to get it out of the liver, and when you do get it out of the liver, just know this: your energy levels are gonna jump by 40 to 60%. And you think I'm making this up? And understand something: anybody can afford to add black gold, a little tummy love, and green coffee beans and an enema bucket. And if you have a structured water unit, make sure it's structured water. And if it isn't, then try to use purified water. Don't be putting that chlorinated water in without structuring it. Okay, so really understand that. And if you can get a purified water and structure it, all the better. So if you have a structure unit. So this is why we actually do the ultimate coffee enema, just like we do advanced water fasting. We don't do water fasting. Hardly anybody can make it through a water fast unless they want their head blowing off and they got all these symptoms and they go through a healing crisis. People don't go through healing crisis when you do things right. Okay, that's just another misnomer that we have to suffer like crazy to get well. That is the biggest BS, dysfunctional belief system. Shalou, do your patients, clients have to suffer like hell to get to heaven?
No, no, they don't. And that's the one of the biggest hurdles to overcome is people being stuck in that mentality of this is just how it is. Everyone goes through this, and you don't. You really don't. The minute you've turned the focus and start to connect with yourself and start to honor yourself, everything changes. And so, doing the ultimate coffee enema is another way to honor yourself, to protect yourself from all the damage that, unknowingly or knowingly we've done to ourselves, right? And so when I start my coffee enema, well, first off, there is a clamp, so be sure to clamp it. Otherwise, when you pour the liquid and it's going to come out, so use the clamp to clamp the tube, and then when you've got that hot coffee and then the cool water with the tummy love, you'll have the perfect temperature. And I lie down. Well, make sure you've got a mat and a pillow, because again, as Simran said, when you're doing the vag infusion, it's time for you. When you're doing the coffee enema, the ultimate coffee enema, that is your time for you. So make sure you've got some nice music on, maybe light a candle or just, and you've got a pillow, and you're just going to relax in this time. You're not going to be going through your emails. You're not going to be scrolling Facebook, right? You're going to just take this time to breathe and really just relax and think about you, right? Think about what makes you happy. What can you be grateful for? What makes you feel loved, right? All the happy thoughts. And so I start with the left side, and I undo the clamp and let in as much as you can, right? And when you start to feel the pressure, clamp it down again. And that way you're gonna, I usually sit there for about 5 minutes, then I roll over onto the back, unclamp it, and let the liquid come in, right? And when it feels like, oh, no more, clamp it again. 5 minutes, and then roll over to the right side, 5 minutes, let the liquid come in, and then pretty much, all of it's done. Now, don't be alarmed if the first time you do it, that not all of it goes in, because you got to make space, right? So before you do the ultimate coffee enema, it might not be a bad idea to just take a warm water enema. Do that first, and just put in some black diamond crystals in there, right? Just do that first to sort of prepare for the ultimate coffee enema, and start with maybe like half a liter, right? Just 16 ounces. See, how easy was that to get in there? And if you couldn't even make it through that, then you know that you need to just start with a smaller quantity for the ultimate coffee enema, and then work your way up. And again, never, ever, ever hold the ultimate coffee enema for more than 15 minutes. Because after that, your body will start to reabsorb the toxins that have been released. So 15 minutes is the maximum. More is not always better. So 15 minutes, that's it. But again, if you can only hold it for 10, don't beat yourself up. It's okay, right? The next time you'll be able to hold it longer. So it's about just taking that time for yourself, being gentle with yourself, loving and honoring yourself, and just knowing that, okay, this is my target, here's where I'm at, and just doing it on a consistent basis. And you will. I mean, the first time, it wasn't so easy to hold all of it. But then, by the third time, yeah, I could hold all of it, right? So again, just take it easy. And, just if ever anyone has a fever, the warm water enema, 5 minutes, fever's gone. So just
warm water. But you do want to add a little bit of tummy love or black diamond to it to suck up the infection. Because guys, I'm going to tell you something. Fever gone, Shalou? And guess what, everyone? Shalou is going to do a live coffee enema for everyone tomorrow.
I do want to add in though. You do want to make sure the bucket is on a counter or the toilet. You don't want it too high, because again, gravity, it will make, when you unclamp it, the stream will come faster. So find a nice level surface where it's higher than you on the ground, but it has a nice flow of coming, like inserting.
And
And
you'll have
everybody, if I can say this, and I don't mean to cut you guys off, there's always a lag here. Make sure that if you want to know how to do things, you can go to the do-it-yourself guide in the library. You can also go to the advanced water fasting guide. Okay. And also just know that Simran and Lorraine do pelvic live Q&As, don't you? And when do you do those?
Monday night. So every other Monday night, we're live on Facebook. And then the
And
opposite, 7 p.m. And then the alternating Monday nights at 7 p.m., we're live on Zoom. So it's a more private Q&A. We can ask you, you can talk to us one-on-one, whereas just commenting on Facebook.
Great. Okay. So let's talk about, you girls talk about it. Let's talk about one really important thing is that women do not realize their gynecologist knows nothing about pelvic health. Their doctor knows nothing about pelvic health. Have you found one medical doctor or gynecologist that knew about real, true pelvic health and how to detoxify and how to restore? I mean, I haven't, but maybe you have because you're ladies, you deal with more people. Have you?
no, it's just pills.
Personally, I stopped going to the doctor. I switched doctors, and then she went out of business or closed it, and I just never got a doctor again. And then I found the Braveheart Nation, Doctor Detox, and I haven't needed a doctor since then, to be honest. But I do have friends who still go to doctors, and one of them, like, she was nervous to go to her appointment to get her IUD taken out because she was worried about them pressuring her to do something she doesn't want to do. And she was like freaking out. And I'm like, just stand in your power and say, thank you. I will think about this information. She books a follow-up session with them, but then when she leaves, she cancels the appointment. But that's, again, just having the confidence in yourself to, in that moment, say, no, I'm good, thank you. But not everyone's there yet. But that is a thing, them pressuring you. And if you're younger, she's younger than me, she's early 20s, and she does, like, they're a higher authority figure to her. So she's scared to say what she wants.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that they're taught to be like that. They think they're another religion and they're the high priests. And the reality is think about it though, Simran, to be honest, until you actually came and took the whole coach course, I bet you thought that your body wasn't yours, or you didn't even give it a thought, did you?
I didn't give it a thought.
You probably thought that you weren't qualified to even look after your own body. And that's everybody, whether men, women, it doesn't matter. Everybody's programmed this way because health is corporate. Look at who runs health in the world. They're only corporate CEOs. I mean, God, we got Bill Gates who thinks he knows health. You know, the reality is that you can fool people so easy. I mean, think about it. Up until you taking the whole life coach certification, did you know anything about your body? Did you even know that you could do anything, or did you trust yourself? You didn't, did you? You didn't trust yourself. So that's everybody else.
Yeah, I've learned more about human anatomy in this last year than I ever did going to school. And I took biology. I took all these courses, but it wasn't until I took the whole life coach course and we went through everything, and the belly button therapy really sunk it in my brain going through each organ. But I've learned so much more in this past year than I did in school.
And
Today,
there's millions.
Pardon?
Go ahead, Shlu.
I said there's millions of women out there that are suffering painful, irregular periods. And what are we told? Oh, it's just a curse. Women are cursed with this, right? It just happens. Like for you, like, I guess, I was lucky enough. I guess I was healthy enough. I never had the painful periods. I would just, within 3 days, it was there, it was gone, it was all great. And then I have a daughter who was having a lot of trouble with it. And when we went to the doctor, what did he say? Oh, I'm going to put you on a birth control pill.
Yeah.
right? And now what we know about what that is, I'm like, oh my God, what did we do, right? But we didn't know at that time. It was like, yeah, just go to the doctor, he'll take care of you. And not at all. So it's not a curse. You know, we are blessed to be able to bring life into this world. So nothing about it is a curse. We really need to think and honor that aspect of ourselves, that it is something that we are blessed with. It is a gift. And to never ever look or feel about that region like it is a curse. And then once we start changing how we feel about it, we'll start honoring it and doing the things and not feel grossed out about, oh, I got to stick what where, you know? No, honestly, first time I did a vagin fusion, I woke up in the morning and not only was I smiling up here, but I was smiling down there too. I'm like, I didn't know this feeling was possible, right? It's really amazing because, you know, I didn't have painful periods, but in my 50s, things were not good down there because life is just stressful. And I love coffee. And even though I drank a lot of water, just like everyone else does, it wasn't enough for the amount of coffee I was putting in my body, you know, and all the other unhealthy habits that I had as far as, you know, just my diet and literally just more than anything, just the stress that I had put in my life on myself, just trying to make a buck, take care of the family, you know, all the expectations of life, that the judgments that, you know, I had to fulfill, that people had, that I had to just get it done. And honestly, like it's a matter of flipping the switch, you know. It's like if I go and flip the switch, the room is dark, and the minute you flip that switch, where did the darkness go? Right? And it's the same thing. The minute you just start to connect with yourself and start to honor and respect yourself, everything truly changes. Is it easy? No. Is it simple? Yeah, flip the switch. But it's something you're going to have to practice over and over again, because the subconscious will pull you back and want you to go back to those old patterns, back to those old habits, back to those old ways of thinking. And ultimately, to heal any part of yourself, to feel good about any part of yourself, you have to first connect and love yourself. So.
And it might be the hardest thing to ever learn. It might be the hardest thing to ever learn, because most people feel selfish when they start actually caring for themselves. And that's how, I don't want to keep saying it like the conspiracy guy, but the reality is every bit of schooling that you get, it's all about that. I did a consultation on a beautiful lady just a couple days ago, and she's a naturopathic doctor, and she has a thriving business. And she called me to do a consultation on her because she can't get well. And she's saying, we weren't taught how to actually do it. We were just taught to, because they can prescribe antibiotics now. And guess what? And they will throw herbs at it or antibiotics. But, you know, it's really about empowering a person and letting them know that you're not dangerous to yourself. You are the practitioner. You are the Braveheart hero you've been looking for. And understand something. Once you get going, everybody's nervous because you were programmed to be so nervous that you would never, ever experiment with yourself. And you can't hurt yourself. When you're doing things that are natural, you can't hurt yourself. You might make a mess the first time when you do the coffee enema at the worst case scenario, okay, or the vaginal infusion. You might get it wrong, but if you do it half-ass right, you're going to feel so much better. And guess what? Repetition is always the key. And understand, keep it to yourself. Don't tell your family, because they'll go, what are you, weirdo? What are you, weirdo? Okay, because now you're part of the minority, and the minority must keep their mouth shut until they start to shine their light. They look healthier, they feel healthier, and people can tell it, and they go, what are you doing? Do you really want to know? Because it's nothing that you do. Do you really want to know? And until you really want to know, don't tell anybody your business. You know, mind your own business. That's looking after yourself. Don't tell anybody. You know what? This is your private time. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going anywhere. My number's 469-861-8884. And the reality is, you can take me to task. We didn't sell you something expensive. We didn't ask you to do something dangerous. We're asking for you to be the hero and save your life. Shalou?
Well, for us, taking the course, the pelvic restoration and disease prevention course, we actually took it together. I was in the class and Simran was assisting and teaching the class. And everyone was like, isn't that kind of weird having your daughter there? And I'm like, how is that weird? When everyone in the circle said, I'm so glad I learned this because now I can take it back to my daughter and teach my daughter and my mom or my sisters. Like, you want to share this information once you get it. And so it was an amazing experience to have. And now it's going to be even more fun because I get to teach it with her in Ixtapa in February. So we're looking forward to it. So, if there's any mothers and daughters out there, it doesn't matter what age, right? Come on down and let's see if we can't get 3 generations, mother, daughter, granddaughter there, right? Because it really is, it's an amazing opportunity to connect and heal as a family. It really is.
Yeah, there's always good experiences from the ladies in the course. In a couple of them I've done, there were a couple of mother-daughters, and after they said that they were actually closer with their mom, like that much more closer prior to taking the course. So it's connecting with a part of yourself that you haven't actually done before, because a lot of people, today's lifestyle, everyone is so busy, and even just telling my friends in their 20s about the vaginal infusion, they're like, what, you're putting what where? And they're not used to it, but it has so many benefits to it. So the more homes we can get this into, that much healthier.
They'll be.
But
I know. The reality is, how many women think that that's a dirty place down there? All right.
yeah.
Well, it's true. I mean, isn't that the main reason that we don't want to think about it? We hope it'll go away. Isn't that why there's so many women that are infertile? They have bladder infections. They have ovarian cysts. They have a thickening on the uterus. They have a prolapsed uterus. They have endometriosis, fibroids. Oh, come on. Seriously, they feel an aching, paining, swelling down there all the time. I mean, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. They did a great job by making you believe that that's a dirty, awful place. And meanwhile, it's the holy grail of everything. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. It brings human beings into this world. It's all about love. It's all about life. And they make us feel disgusting. You know what? It's the same thing with the thing that just happened for 3 years. Is the same thing. That's a dirty place. And the same thing that we're too stupid to look after ourselves. And I'm going to tell you something right now. None of that is true.
Yeah. No,
go ahead, girls.
It really is the way how it's presented to us. And you're made to feel dirty. You're made to feel like you're weird. And it's really not true. Honestly, I mean, that whole, you want to stand in your power, you want to connect with yourself. That's when you'll truly stand in your power. No one can shame you or guilt you or blame you. Like, you're just going to feel amazing. And so you really need to try it. Just try it and then see how that goes. Because until you try it, you won't.
And listen, everyone, if you live in the Barrie, Ontario area, or if you live in the Calgary area or north of Calgary, just call in. We've got practitioners all over the place. Simran and Shalou live in Barrie, Ontario, and they do pelvic non-surgical restoration. I mean, if you've got fibroids or you've got endometriosis or you've got these problems, don't live with them. Just give them a call and go see them. And they have a cellsonic. They have a cardio med bed. I mean, they've got the best of the best, and you deserve the best of the best. Say that to yourself. I deserve the best. Okay? You're not second anymore. You're first. Put yourself first. so you can teach your children how to put themselves first, and maybe you won't get so disrespected by everybody when you say nobody respects me. Well, do you respect yourself? That would be a good place to really start. Why don't you ladies tell them about what's coming up in our courses and where they need to go for information, and maybe where they need to go on the library to take a look to get started. It's free.
Yeah, so our next course to kick off the new 2024 World Tour, we are in Ixtapa, Mexico at the beautiful Cala de Mar, which is a 4-diamond hotel. I was there a year ago from when we're going to be there, and it's absolutely amazing. I love Mexico. We will be doing all 4 courses there. So the Whole Life Coach, the Wolf Non-Surgical, the Braveheart Health and Healing Circle, which my mom will be teaching with Dr. Sage Wolf, and then the Pelvic Restoration and Disease Prevention Masterclass that Lorraine and I will be doing. My mom will be assisting us there. We met some ladies in Montreal just now on our road trip, and they were absolutely ecstatic about all of this because it was their first time getting treatments. And so I treated them. They were asking me a bunch of questions, and then the one girl's mom was like, "Oh, I'm coming. I'll see you in Mexico in January." I was like, "Okay, perfect. I can't wait." And she's gonna see if her daughters will come with her. So we've got those courses. Then February, Dr. Sage Wolf will be in Australia doing the Wolf Non-Surgical course in, I believe, Melbourne. And then March, we're in Barrie, Ontario, doing the Whole Life Coach, Wolf Non-Surgical, and the Pelvic course. January is the only time we're doing in Mexico that we're doing the Braveheart Healing Circle. So if you want to jump on that, you really want to get to that now. And I believe we have a few spots left. If you call in to book, you get 10% off. There's only a limited amount. So if you really want that, I would recommend jumping on it because we've only got a few spots, I believe, left. And the Healing Circle is only 4 days. So if you don't want to do the Whole Life Coach, which is 9 days, you could do the Healing Circle and see what it is, really go in depth and into you and discover something that you didn't know before. And then April will be Sacramento, California. And again, it's the 3 courses. So if you want more exact dates and locations, you can go to bhnuniversity.com or braveheartnation.com. And then if you're thinking about doing the courses, I highly recommend doing some of your homework in the library. So go to docofdetox.com/library. And I would look at the 12 loving steps. If you're a woman, I am woman. A to Z Masterclass. Look into the Ultimate Coffee Enema, the Vaginal Infusion Guide, the Therapeutic Vomiting. That one was very powerful for me when I first did it. And the 60 Advanced Water Fast. Those are like main ones that are amazing tools that you can do on your own. Just read the guide. They're very well done. Lots of information in there. If you have any questions, though, you can always call the Doc of Detox line, or you can call me, 705-984-1699. I do also do consultations. So that's perfect date consultation, pelvic consultation, advanced water fast consultation, emotional consultations, anything that you want. I am here to help you create your perfect day.
And it's really important that you make 2024 the year you put yourself first, because no one else will put you first if you don't. And when you put yourself first, it won't matter to you if anyone else puts you first, because you'll just be having your own party, your own fun all the time. And so dive into the courses, like go into the library, get a little taste. And the more homework you do there, because the courses are packed with so much information that it's a whirlwind. So if you can take the opportunity, you're coming to Ixtapa, start now, or you're booking for, Barrie or Sacramento, just get your down payment down, get access to the library, and start just chipping away at taking those layers off, because we are like onions and there's many, many layers. So just start working those layers off. And as you do, you'll start discovering so many amazing things about you. It's an amazing journey. You know, it's not about, oh, I want to get there. Yeah, you'll get there. But it's so much fun in doing the work and seeing the changes. Just 1% change every day. And in 100 days, there's a whole new you, and you start again, because that was only one layer, you know? So don't just leave it and sit there and think it's all out there. The true beauty and the true magic lies within you. Let's start going inwards and pulling that out. So, you know, if any of this is sounding interesting to you, or you're like, I got questions, you know, if you want to do a consultation, you can call me. You can check out my website, lotuslife.health. You can email me at shalu@lotuslife.health, or give me a call, 705-828-2257. I would love to connect with you, just help you map out your journey from where you are to where you want to be. Because I can't do it for you. You have to do it for you. But I would love to be along the way and be the observer, cheering you on, going, yeah, you did it, you did it, you did it, because you can do it. It all starts with a choice. So just choose to put yourself first in 2024.
Simran?
Well, I wanted to say that I've taken, like, I did the 3 courses, so that's when I became a master, and now I'm assisting in 3 to then be able to teach 3, because I'm going for my doctorate through Braveheart Nation. And I've taken 7 whole life coach courses now, and each one you pick up something new that you didn't hear before, and it's the like Daryl has the same core that he teaches, but I know I've heard these things before, but in different courses I hear it differently, and I was like, okay, that makes sense, and then I resonate with like it wherever I'm at in my life, because you're at a different spot in your life each course you take. So it's just, it really is an onion, and like he knows like it's constant layers coming off of me. But I decided to take that massive personal action when I took my first course, and since then I went running with it, and I haven't stopped making sure I'm taking that action, because that's where the growth happens. That's where your life gets better. So
it's a beautiful journey to watch. I mean, I feel so honored to be witness to the transformation I'm seeing in my own daughter, right? It's amazing. And it all started with me taking that massive personal action and going to take the course for me. And the funny thing is, I was taking the course not to go save myself. That was just an amazing byproduct, because I realized how much trouble I was in. I was taking the course because I thought I was going to come save my parents, because both of them were ill. So, you know, whatever is motivating you to come take this, ultimately the biggest gift is you will not only find yourself, but you will then inspire others in your family to do the same.
yeah, I've seen quite
Thank
the
you.
ripple in our family.
Yeah,
That's
it's been
it.
beautiful. Anybody can have it. You just got to allow yourself to have it and understand that your belief systems were built to try to stop you. So everybody just take that to heart tonight and know that you deserve only the best life. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and have the best night of your life wherever you are. 3, 2, 1. We got this, Bravehearts. Good night now.
Thank you.
Good night.
Welcome, everyone, to what could be your morning dip before you go to La Roca's breakfast. Understand something. We have made the most unbelievable package for you when you come to take our certification and trainings at the Cala del Mar, which is a 4-diamond resort in Ixtapa, Mexico. That's right. Come a little bit earlier in the morning, take your gift, look at this beautiful view made for you, and then after you do that, you can walk over to La Roca,
and have the most beautiful breakfast. And understand something, when I say beautiful breakfast, I've had breakfast there many times. So follow me and understand, let me show you, okay, what really good eating is all about. Welcome to La Roca. This is your breakfast restaurant. This is where you'll come after you have a dip in the pool. You'll have breakfast, and then you can come to your training or your certification. Listen, we have planned the most beautiful training adventure of your life that will last for the rest of your life. Please check out the information at bhnuniversity.com or braveheartnation.com. This is where you're going to get the pictures, the videos, and the dates of all our courses that we will be having at the Cala del Mar in Ixtapa, Mexico. And understand something, this is not a 4-star resort. It's a 4-diamond resort that you will be discounted if you decide to stay here, play here. We're going to make it the Braveheart way every day for you. From the moment you rise until you close your eyes, okay? We are going to help you find your authentic self on a personal level and on a professional level. Let's break all the boundaries. Let's break all the belief systems, and let's create the life that we've always wanted.